Hello and welcome to another episode of The Collection. Now, today, again, today's date is significant to these props. Today is the 21st of April.
The 21st of April.
And if you're a horror nerd like I am, you know that's significant when it comes to John Carpenter's The Fog.
21st of April.
Because that's the 100th anniversary of Antonio Bay was on the 21st of April. So now I guess it would be 142nd anniversary? God, it's hard to believe it's been that long since that movie came out. 42 years. That's nuts. Anyhow, we are going to look at a couple props from the film, and I'm super stoked to have acquired these from Tommy Lee Wallace himself, who was the production designer on the film. And let's take a look at those now. They're right back here. The first piece is this radio. Now you might recognize it as the radio that Benny, aka John Carpenter, brought into Father Malone's office and sat down on his desk when he asked,
"Father, can I get paid?"
And he kind of gets blown off. Anyway, this is the radio. And you know what's crazy about this radio? Is it still works. It still works. Watch, I'll show you. Are you ready? Here we go.
The blood drive's happening. Office of Ellis Law, 2230 East Maple Avenue in Ellis.
Actually, can't let that play too long. I'll get a copyright infringement thing. But it works. Friggin' nuts. Still works. Another thing that was cool that Tommy threw in was what he thought was a press kit from The Fog. It's the press kit folder, but inside was actually a bunch of personal clippings, I guess he had kept from when the movie came out and around the production. Some really cool things in here, including like a vintage National Park Service pamphlet for Point Reyes, where they shot the film. This is obviously something he got back when they were filming. It's a map and kind of information sheet. Also some clippings, like stuff from Variety, like articles on the filming. This is December 15th, 1977 that this is from. And they're talking about the assault on Precinct 13 being a surprise hit. There's all kinds of cool stuff in here, like newspaper clippings of the film release. This is one I thought was really cool. This is an actual newspaper from Point Reyes Light. It's called Point Reyes Light in Tomales Bay. This is from April 5th, 1979. And on the front there, you can see a photo of them at what was Adrienne Barbeau's house in the film while they were filming. So there's a lot of cool clips and stuff like that in here. Obviously just a personal collection of his, clippings and whatnot from around the time of the production and just after. It's kind of a neat little time capsule. Sure, it would have been nice if it was an original press kit like I thought it was, or like he thought it was, because an original press kit would be pretty sweet. But to be fair, this is obviously something a little more special and more unique to the production of the film. Almost like a little diary he kept, if you will. And now the crown jewel. This is something I've been bugging Tommy to part with for a long time. And he always said that he would, but, he just wasn't ready. And finally he was ready. And funny thing is, I purchased this from him gosh, more than a year ago during the pandemic. And I was too afraid to have him ship it. I wanted to get it in person. And it took over a year before I actually saw him again and was able to actually receive these items. But this was the main piece I wanted. The radio and the little press kit slash clippings compilation was part of a package deal. The thing I wanted the most was this. And if you've been looking over my shoulder, you may have already eyed it. I feel like I'm just pulling this out of the wall. Here it is, Father Malone's journal, the one and only. This is the only one. It is, you know, as it saw in the film, it was pretty beat up. It's more beat up now. But this is the real deal, kids. One of a kind, all handwritten. Look at this. Pretty amazing, right? Now, production assistant Randy Moore actually painstakingly wrote this entire thing by hand. And a lot of it, well, some of it is pertaining to the film and, you know, was written in there specific to the film. But most of it is him just jotting things down. A lot of it is what was going on set that day, because he was doing this while they were filming. And there's some funny things in here, including his frustration with having to write page after page. And I thought it would be fun here on the
21st of April
to read Father Malone's entire journal so you could see what it actually says. If you're a big fog nerd and you really want to know what was in Father Malone's journal, I'm about to read it to you right now. I haven't read the whole thing yet, but there are a lot of handwritten pages. There's a lot of blank ones, but there's a lot of handwritten pages. Some of it is hard to read. Some of the ink, because whatever like ink pen he was using, he was obviously a dip type ink pen. Some of it bled a little bit and some of the letters run together, so it's hard to make out certain words, but I'll do my best. So if you're patient and you want to stick with me and hear what is actually in the journal, I'll do my best to read it all to you. And this will be the first time it's ever been read in public. And there's some cool stuff in here. The stuff I did read was very interesting. I think you're going to dig it. So let's pull up a chair and, you know, check it out. I think I may just squat here on the floor and give it a read. So here we go. I'm going to do my best here. Journal of Father Patrick Malone, 1880. This says absolutely nothing, so I wouldn't bother reading it because it means no sense whatsoever. It's all part of the movies. And crazy way to make a living, I wouldn't advise it unless you like something house and can say are for days one and worth rest sleep. It's really hard to read this writing. I'm going to be honest with you. It's really hard to make it up. Tomorrow will be a long day. The damn cross has been a pain in the ass. I will be glad when it is out of the way. It almost something into another statue, but not quite. The not key is the head proof. If we can just make it through the church scene, we be all right. Of times I have some doubt about slay my in the movers. It's hard, but I think we'll make it. Although the lighthouse could be a major pain in the ass. The spiral staircase is still up in the air. It'll probably cost a small fortune. Be the something lock well be worth it. The weather station worked. Could something a good job for the main ones. I think this says Dylan. Dylan tied something Charles was his usual self. The hillside was positively the worst yet. Never again all I make a hillside out of keyholes. Next time we see Bay of signed something. I'm sorry if this is tedious. It's really hard to read what it says. I'm doing my best here. It's the first time I've read it. It has to be much cleaner and easier to use. Procedures. The studio really likes it for park and in the morning. Facilities. And in unusual facilities. I sure wish later set made aged something handwriting so I wouldn't have to be doing this and could be relaxed with a cup of the production greed coffee and something haven't in the neat where parking rocks and cross for the birds. It just ain't what something. I hope when we go back to Inverness, it will be much more relaxed so I can enjoy it this time. The fun times was a total blast. All work and no sleep make for a terrible time. Maybe this time I can enjoy the summer days. It looks like a good place to relax if it wasn't for the fucking something San Francisco happiness that stopped something sprouts and cards up their asses to stay organized. I don't know. The hardware store wasn't too bad, but something where they slow. This is really hard to read. I'm doing my best here. The something really sucked. The Redlands really sucked? I don't know. The something was so, and the process were outrageous. Plus, they put beats on everything. You overdose. They were still better than the fucking caterers. She was the worst. Someone should feed these two the crabs, but it would possibly poison them. Something ain't worth a shit. Today, be shot in the chapel, study and the cross, something eats it. The gold leafing was a total waste of time. Nothing like being backed into a corner again. Will we ever get out? The masks look okay, but well, we'll see after the paint job. Scenic painters made by one, according to the person's name, starts with a D, the one and only painter. I something wish he was working on this shoot. We something need someone in our corner. It's productive, sure isn't. The set directors are our saving grace. We would... trying to get comfy here. We could something more just than these. I'm trying, kids. I'm trying. Our other saving grace is the line, I shoot what you get. That's helped quite a few times and will probably help again and again. Jesus, is there no relief in sight? I should have been an astronaut, counting many I something make. What I need is a day something ass good to 4 day. This is really hard to read. It's so bled together. What I need to do is actually have somebody sit down, like old scripture style, and transcribe this entire thing because it's so damn hard to read. Someone to walk over my back in high-heeled shoes and set on my fours. Honestly, I think I'm going crazy as I write this endless fucking journal that something but crazed blah 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 that don't make any sense at all. Don't make any sense at all. I think that it's time to do Halloween 2. That's kind of interesting. Are are the shape returns, or are, it's like it says, or are the shape returns. Give them blood and guts anytime. I don't want to ever see stained glass again as long as I live. I hate it all, really, and I get more to do, or more to go and break away on. Well, I've run out of things to write about, and I don't have enough pages. I sure wish I wrote like this all the time so I wouldn't have to concentrate. Our wanting to enjoy and really goes against my something to write so slightly. He for all probably come and get me for my, not sure what that says, a thought. The pumpkins are a pain in the ass, but compared to the statue, they were a breeze. Maybe as should have made them out of bonds. Well, frankly, I think the deed is done. Now I have to look for some more sleazy, disgusting lepers to draw on. It's more from than cuts in the microwave. Drawn and much cleaner. All week these disgusting things around anyway. If had it to do again, something would use napalm and really fry these shiny bastards. Once lepers move in, there goes the neighborhood. They really know how to trash a place. Besides that, they smell fishy and have bad breath. They would make us bring the lepers in from Point Reyes Station to go to our schools and something the speed limit. I think I need a beer. I hope they shoot soon. I'm tired of writing these stupid pages. I get those damn rocks full out in the something middle of a something doesn't happen. It will be the journal falling apart in his hands. Props fix it. Why couldn't the paint see all the shit in a dream and spare my pain less frequently? The priest should have left a cashier's check. It's much something too fake. It's time's too short learning out these pages. Here's to many be fill up with this mindless jabber. Robert something Stevenson, I'm not. Robert Ian Stevenson writes low, shy away from the stained glass window. Maybe you should have one eye. It helps. I have to slow down the writing, getting messy to dry. I'll be glad when this day is over and we haven't even got the first shot off yet. I should have stayed in bed this week. Something out my mind is going blank. I'm sure I'm glad I came to California and put my college education to work writing dumb shit in this fucking movie prop. It's time to bring in the big tits, tattoos, and shaved beavers. Okay. I know Larry Franco would go for some of that. There's a pencil sharpener. I hope the stove doesn't something when it falls out. The priest should know. Left this message on a recorder. Don't allow damn now go future and something these teeth please. Did not even halfway through this damn book yet. At least the story wasn't copied in stone. I'd have to make it. Our Father who out in heaven, please let the stove work. I need to something work. I need to sleep. I'm going to need a bottle of something when this movie is over. It's time to bring out the donkey show and know things up you can't beat. December 9th. Now here suddenly there's actual stuff written for the film. December 9th. Met with Blake this evening for the first time. He stood in the shadows to prevent me from getting a clear look at his face. What a vile disease this is.
He is a rich man with a cursed condition.
But this does not prevent him from trying to better his situation and that of his comrades at the colony. December 11th. Blake's proposition is simple. He wants to move off Tangier Island and relocate the entire colony just north of here. He has purchased a clipper ship called the Dane Elizabeth Dane. It says the Dane Elizabeth Dane, with part of his fortune, and asks only for permission to settle here. I must balance my feelings. Now, one thing that's clear is when it gets into the stuff that was written for the film, his writing is much better, because I think some of this was supposed to be seen on film. That's why I'm able to read it much easier. Balance my feelings of mercy and compassion towards this poor man with my revulsion at the thought of a leper colony only a mile distant. Cannot sleep. My mind is filled with something of the abomination that myself and my conspirators plan. April 20th. The 6 of us met tonight. From midnight until 1 o'clock, we planned the death of Blake and his comrades. I tell myself that Blake's gold will allow the church to be built and our small settlement to become a township. But it does not soothe the horror that I feel being an accomplice to murder. April 21st. The deed is done. Blake followed our false fire and his ship broke apart on the rocks of Spivey Point. We were aided by the unearthly fog that rolled in as if heaven sent, although God had no part in our actions tonight. Blake's gold will be recovered tomorrow, but may the Lord forgive us for what we have done.
I couldn't read any further.
Were it possible to raise the dead, I would return Blake's fortune to him, intact, save the money spent on these walls that hide it. My fellow conspirators believe that the confiscated fortune has been stolen from them, when in fact, I am the thief, and God's temple is the tomb of gold. Now, I think from here, there's a few pages that are very similar. I don't know why they did them over and over again. Maybe because he was supposed to open it right to a page, and they just wrote similar pages to have it open to one of them. I'm not sure, but I'm going to read these. From midnight to 1, the hour of fright, but your faith will not save you the following night. Little poem action. April 30th, midnight to 1, the hour is theirs. Good Lord, deliver us. April 30th, midnight to 1, the hour is theirs. Good Lord, deliver us. Say over and over again. It's pretty much the same. April 30th, from midnight to 1, good Lord, deliver us. April 30th, from midnight to 1, good Lord, deliver us. April 30th, midnight to 1, belongs to the dead. Good Lord, deliver us. April 30th, midnight to 1, belongs to the dead. Good Lord, deliver us. And blank. This could be it. Let's see. Is that all of it? It looks like that is everything. Now, what's crazy is if you look in the film, if you screen capture when he first opens the book in the film, you will notice a page. If you screen capture it, you can read some of the crap he was writing, just goofing around. It's on film. Now, back then, I don't think they ever thought of somebody being able to screen, that wasn't possible to be able to freeze frame back in the day. But it's pretty amazing that some of that made it on the film and you can actually read it. Here it is. Sorry, that was kind of a struggle to get through. It's, like I said, it's really hard to read some of this. So I hope you enjoyed this, and happy Fog Day, the 21st of April.
They'll take care of you. Here's something there's a shortage of: blood.